Hi, how are ya? My name is Beta, and today we'll be talking about the Furaffinity hacking situation and how that ended up wrapping up within a 36 to 48 hour period. But for those that don't know, Furaffinity, the biggest furry art archive website in the world, ended up getting hacked recently. The domain was hijacked, it was redirected to several different other domains and websites, and it ended up pissing off furries. Along with Furaffinity being hacked, the associated social medias on Twitter for Furaffinity's account and Dragoneer's account were hacked, aka the former and recently deceased owner and founder of Furaffinity. A lot of very not great things were said from those accounts. Supposedly, they ended up losing somewhere from around $15,000 to $300,000 trying to acquire the domain for Furaffinity. And in the end, it was a messy, sad situation. No one won in the end. Everyone's time was wasted. It was more frustrating than it was achieving of anything. Not only did they make furries upset, but they made Kiwi Farms upset because they tried redirecting Furaffinity to Kiwi Farms, and they had to make an announcement about it, which was pretty interesting to see. Allegedly, the person who hacked the account ended up having their information leaked by another furry hacker organization known as Null Bulge. Yes, Null Bulge. That is a fantastic name. So I want to talk about this, do a little bit of critical thinking, and give like a big lesson at the end of this, which the lesson here is don't fuck with furries. And I feel like even the result from what happened with the Heritage Foundation would have been enough a lesson to tell, hey, maybe don't do this again. I know this does kind of cover a little bit of the sensitive topic with regards to Dragoneer, which if you didn't know, Dragoneer, the founder and owner of Furaffinity, sadly passed away a few weeks back. And I know obviously some people aren't a fan of him with some controversy surrounding it. Again, don't want to cover it, don't really care, because it doesn't really have anything to do with this. The only thing that I feel like does matter here is that Dragoneer's passing was a big thing. It was talked about and his name was trending on Twitter along with Furaffinity back when it happened for a few days. And so to see Furaffinity experiencing a cyber attack doesn't really surprise me. With that in mind, I will be linking the GoFundMe in the description below for Dragoneer's family. I believe it's supposed to help cover the financial costs of the medical bills, the funeral costs, along with just supporting his family, and I believe Furaffinity as well. But this whole situation is very sad, but also very interesting, so let's talk about it. On August 20th at the wee hours of the morning, Furaffinity was hacked, or at least the domain behind the website was hijacked. There was a hacking attempt in which someone was able to get access to the domain behind Furaffinity and managed to redirect the website for furaffinity.net to another website not associated with it. See, there's all this talk about like domains and websites. I don't know anything about that. The only domain I know is domain expansion, brown volcano. I do kind of wish I knew a little bit about like what the fuck a DNS or a network domain name registrar is, or even what network solutions was. I wish I knew a little bit more about this, but every time I try reading about anything related to cybersecurity, to websites, to website domains, to website domain holders, to registrars, I don't know any of this. My mind goes blank. But regardless, I don't know anything about websites or domains. I just know that they managed to get access through, I believe, the domain name registrar known as Network Solutions. They got access to that account and managed to redirect Furaffinity.net to go elsewhere. With one of the examples of where it redirected appeared to be some sort of bootleg, watered-down version of Furaffinity that promoted some merchandise. About an hour into the website being hacked, the Furaffinity admins put out an announcement on both their Discord server and Twitter. Urgent domain hijacking attempt. It appears someone is trying to redirect our domain to a site that is not associated with Furaffinity. This could lead to a phishing page that mimics our website in appearance. Please avoid visiting our URL or interacting with the website until we provide further updates. We are in contact with our service provider's support team. Your personal information and passwords remain secure and have not been compromised. Which I guess that's good reassurance to know that the passwords and whatnot are not compromised, but you know, at the end of the day, you probably still want to change it. If you have like a Furaffinity account, you want to change your information when you can. And that just goes for anything. If there's any sort of hijacking attempt where someone is able to get into a database or some other website where you have saved information on that, bottom line is you're going to want to change your passwords and login information. After a little bit of this point, I believe a war sort of ensued between who was holding power over Furaffinity, whether it was the staff or admins who were in control of the website versus this one hacker who was trying to redirect the domain to other websites. Each side kind of struggled to control the website until eventually the hacker gained complete control over Furaffinity. The FA staff even gave updates like, the website may appear to be back to normal for now, but it's still under threat. The hijackers have temporarily reverted it to our website, but they can switch it to whatever they want at any moment. But while the staff were trying to regain control of Furaffinity, they were also contacting support for network solutions, in which they didn't really get much of anything. You see, they were able to get the information to prove that they were the proper owners of the domain, but they were told to wait 24 to 48 hours before they could do anything. So it's like, okay, yeah, we'll just wait for this hacker to do what they do. That's cool. When I'm sure what they were trying to do was just get the account frozen so that they couldn't access or move around or change anything with regards to the domain, the login information, or the website. Along with that, Furaffinity made an announcement on their Twitter account saying, the reason Furaffinity went offline around 12:48 a.m. is due to someone hijacking our account with NetSol Cares, even though we worked quickly to correct the situation. We have proven without a doubt that we are the proper owner and the account has been hijacked. This is a serious security issue and oversight on NetSol Cares' side. Refusal to take this issue seriously has caused undue stress and misinformation to spread. We need action now to get the domain back in our control. This is unacceptable that customer support at NetSol Cares can identify a hijack but not stop or freeze the account immediately. But not long after the hacker seized control of Furaffinity, they managed to hack into the Furaffinity Twitter account, in which they posted some very unsavory yikes stuff, mainly posts featuring anti-furry sentiment or anti-furry rhetoric. They talked about how much they love Kiwi Farms and saying some very not great things about Dragoneer. I think the only post here that I can really say from the hacked Furaffinity Twitter account was, disgusting freaks, you'll get what you deserve soon. I mean, hey, if you're hacking into Furaffinity to try and prove a point, I'm not sure the point's really being proven. From there, the Furaffinity staff made the announcement on Discord that their Twitter account was compromised. It was hijacked, hacked, don't follow it, don't believe anything it says. However, not long after that, Dragoneer's account also got hacked by the same person. I don't care what you think about him, but hacking into and tweeting abhorrent shit from a deceased individual's social media account, no matter what you say either, is fucked up. That is really fucked. And it just, I guess, unfortunately goes to show that some people don't consider furries as people. So as of that point, 2 Twitter accounts associated with Furaffinity and the owner behind it were hacked, and Furaffinity itself was completely hijacked. And throughout that time, some very interesting things happened, and surprisingly, they managed to piss off a couple more people. So you know how they were changing the redirects for the furaffinity.net domain to go to different websites? For one of the random redirects that this hacker was using for the furaffinity.net website, one of them ended up leading to Kiwi Farms for a bit. And supposedly that redirect got so popular to the point where one of the admins for Kiwi Farms had to make an announcement saying, attention furries, the administration of this website has no affiliation with the hackers who have redirected Furaffinity to the Kiwi Farms. This is a joke at both of our expense. Registration's disabled until further notice. So this guy, or hacker, whoever they are, managed to piss off not only furries, but the completely opposite end of the spectrum. Also during this time, for the Furaffinity Twitter account, the hacker stupidly changed the @ to I love Kiwi for lunch, and so someone else managed to yoink the Furaffinity ad, and it pissed off the guy who was hacking, because the guy who got it was a furry, but they managed to grab the @ because the guy stupidly changed the Furaffinity @ to I love Kiwis for lunch, and then someone else yoinked it to save it for later so that admins could regain control of the account and the @ as such. It's like, again, furries, you're doing a good job. You're doing great with this. Like, they're trying to shill out a cryptocurrency too. So it's like, there are all sorts of theories as to who the person is behind this. Crypto bro, AI artist, 15-year-old child who just hasn't started school yet. There was also a point too where this hacker was getting into an argument with one person replying to the posts, where the guy supposedly admitted that he lost somewhere between $15,000 or $300,000 in this attempt to hack Furaffinity. Now, whether it was because of the crypto scam or because of holding the domain for Furaffinity, which I don't think it was either of those. In fact, I don't think he lost $300,000 at all. There's no way he lost $15,000 or even $300,000 for it, because where does it come from? You know, maybe the crypto scam, maybe, but you gotta use your critical thinking here. Like, where would the $300,000 have gone? What, to the domain provider because they, for the moment, own the domain for like 24 hours? No. But speaking of learning who the individual was, one furry hacker group who I just learned about recently supposedly had found out who this was. But supposedly they had found some information kind of cross-referencing the hacker's social media and other information. Again, don't go looking for this either, but there was one little infographic that I saw someone put together that gave a couple of details about the furry hacker group finding out stuff about the person, and they called it the Ploopy Files, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bulge. I'm scared of some of these names, let me tell you. Regardless, that doesn't matter, because at this point now, outside of all the stuff that has happened in between, the staff of Furaffinity have full access to the website again. It is back in the hands of the owners, and everything is going back into the repair process. Alright, so a little bit of an update. Furaffinity is back online, and the Twitter accounts are back to their rightful owners. So everyone wins in the end. I mean, sort of. It was a pain to get here, but in the end, it worked out. Furaffinity is back. It's in the hands of FA staff. It's now accessible, and you have the clear to go in and use your account, though I would probably go and change my password first, but yeah. And then Dragoneer's account was returned to the proper people that run the account. Also, I'll be leaving a link to the Dragoneer GoFundMe in the description below. It's pretty much at this point to help run Furaffinity, like all funds from that go to helping support the current people running it, so go check that out. I'd like to think that this is an attack on not just furries, but the LGBT community, because, you know, just based on the rhetoric and some of the things posted, it doesn't seem like the hacker is that privy to people doing their own thing. Furries just kind of mind their own business. They do their own thing. They want to exist in their own corner of the world. And when you try to disrupt that for any reason, whether it's just a sad trolling attempt or trying to disrupt someone's peace, when the peace is disrupted for furries, they bounce back, they fight back. The whole situation is just sad and shitty to see in the end, but luckily it had a good ending. Just seeing in numbers, in a slew, the support from furries for furries is just, it's always heartwarming to see, and I want that to be the ending message for this video. And big shout out to the users Hakopla and Zaleppo for detailing the events that happened and giving a good, clear timeline of what happened with this, the details that are needed, and kind of opting out of the weird nitty-gritty misinformation stuff with it. And if I did miss anything that was important about this, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I love any feedback. And hey, if you have any relevant information to this whole situation, appropriate information at that too, do not post anything sensitive or post any personal information about this in the comments, please and thank you. But regardless, I greatly appreciate you watching. I'm gonna try and maybe do more of these little mini news segment videos, even though I've been recording for an hour and a half now, because I don't know how to speak for the life of me, but that's what we do here. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, life stay jacket, and I'll see you all in the next one.